So Throwbacks basically serves almost as a time capsule to preserve nostalgia. And I worked on a Bad Bunny music video like early on before he really blew up in Miami, and he shot that on 16mm film.
Oh, all right, you guys, welcome back to the Serious Podcast with your host, the one and only Serious Jason. And thank you guys for tuning in from our previous episode that we had with Boss Magazine, which was great, you guys. Thank you for just tuning in. And this episode is not going to be nothing short, but even better and great. And we're talking film still. We're talking cameras. We're talking everything vintage here, y'all. Today on this episode, we got a great guest here from West Palm Beach, Florida. For all your vintage needs, vinyls, cameras, all of that. We got Throwbacks of West Palm Beach here, man. We got my man Paul in the house, man. Shout out, Paul.
Thank you for having me, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You got to make some noise.
It's an honor to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we got
sir.
all the nostalgia here today.
And as you guys can see here, he has all, you know what I'm saying, the collectibles, all the vintage cameras, man. You know, nowadays everybody wants a camera. Everybody wants either a digital camera or just something vintage and older. You know what I'm saying? So I got my brother here today to just shed more light on what he does, on what Throwback West Palm Beach does, as well as his purpose on selling these. Like, why do you collect these? Like, what do you have these nice looking vintage cameras here? So can you just tell everyone and tell me, how did you start? Like, what was the story behind Throwbacks?
So Throwbacks basically serves almost as a time capsule to preserve nostalgia. I'm not just selling these. We do a lot of classes. We do a lot of hands-on stuff. And when someone buys it too, they're getting a warranty. They're getting either my number or the Instagram where they can I get messages at 2 a.m. Hey, how do I load my film? I don't know what I'm doing. We want this to be around for a long time to come. So that's what Throwbacks is basically preserving nostalgia. With all things analog, we have VHS, we have vinyl, but film is kind of like the bread and butter for Throwbacks. So that's what first and foremost is. We really want this to be around for years to come, like even long before we're gone. I still want film to be around. So that's what we're here to.
Yeah, I mean, preserve you have film cameras that's like older than you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's older than both of us. You know what I'm saying? Older than our parents
this
as
stuff
well.
Is maybe like lapping us like triple. You know, this thing's, we're getting lapped here with some of these cameras. Which is the fascinating thing about film.
There's so much cameras, so much variations, variety out there.
And how old it is. Like, this stuff is lasting forever.
Yeah.
And even, it's going to last longer than some digital cameras. Digital cameras become obsolete where film cameras, some of these film cameras are from like the 1930s, and they can still uphold to some of these digital cameras from nowadays.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's the fascinating thing with film.
Yeah, no, like, and it shows, like, the different textures, like, all these different variations of cameras, they have their own different textures and basically shots as well.
Yeah, they all have character, just kind of like our cars, too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has a preference with the car. We might be like, I don't really like that car, but someone else is like, man, I love this car.
Yeah.
Same with cameras. Every camera has
like that yellow one right there, like the Fisher Price right
1997 Fisher Price camera right here, which is a very fascinating camera where, like, we look at it nowadays. I have a 2-year-old at home, and we don't really. There's not really stuff marketed towards. I guess you could have like iPads or iPhones nowadays, which is kind of like
frogs.
Like stuff like it's kind of like bland. But back in 1997, this was like kind of marketed towards the kids. This was a 1997 Fisher Price kids camera, where like a lot of film cameras, you open the back, it exposes the film. Whereas this, it had a childproof lock on it, so it's like the introductory level camera for like toddlers, where you need the key. It's adult proof sometimes too, but to open it up, I mean, they don't do this anymore with kids. So it was pretty cool how like even like,
and you can basically use that as a regular camera.
Oh yeah, it's a regular camera, but it's marketed or geared towards kids with that childproof aspect of it, and like kind of like the fun design. So it's cool how like back then it's kind of they were like, hey, film's a thing.
Yeah, they didn't just market like young adults or adults. They targeted kids.
Yeah, they wanted everybody to be involved and show their creativity. So it's pretty cool how, like you said, like there's so much.
Each one has their own personality.
Yeah.
And so with that just being like a kid's camera, but still anybody could use. Do you remember like the first camera that you ever owned?
Yeah, so first camera I probably ever owned was like a disposable camera.
Yeah.
I was born in '93, so like elementary school was through like the early 2000 or early 2000s for me. Middle school, so I kind of like my parents, they weren't gonna like give me like expensive cameras back then. Were still a couple $100. I mean, they were expensive. They weren't gonna give one, so they gave me like a disposable camera, like on field trips or whatnot. I remember walking around with these, and of course, a lot of the images would have like my finger in front of the shutter, or like I wouldn't put flash on at like indoors. So they were. Maybe I had one good shot at like 27. So that was like kind of like the first one I had growing up. But as I kind of later went along and more appreciated film, I had a Canon A1, which is a big like introductory level camera. Like it's
you got to show that whole frame. The whole camera got to see that.
Yeah,
this
is Canon A1, which is a very popular camera for just beginners and even like more so pros too, because it kind of grows with you.
Yep.
So this was like my first like actual like, I like this, you know.
So would you say that was like, I know you said the disposable was like the introduction, but this really what got you into like cameras?
Yeah. Oh, correct. Yeah, so I kind of fell in love with that. I actually grew up where my dad, he works for Kodak. So like growing up, it was just like film all the time, pictures, and to be honest, as a kid, I was kind of like, I would get sick and tired of taking photos everywhere.
Oh yeah, as a kid, you're like, when your parents want to take those family pics, you're like, please.
Right? Yeah.
You're like sure, like
another one.
Exactly. No, still. So
and like now it's like digital, so you can get like a bunch, but back then with film, it's like, all right, crank it up. So we were like, sometimes 20 minutes for like, 4 different photos. And it's like, this is
I didn't think
forever.
about that. I did not think about that aspect of like taking photos where back then you had to reel it up. Or just even like, okay, let's try this a different angle. It just takes longer.
It was a process, yeah. And I didn't appreciate it back then, which I think a lot of us when we're younger, we don't appreciate. So like as we grow, I think we appreciate more stuff with our parents and family. And so then I went to college for communications with more so journalism. I worked in the news right out of college because I was like, I want to work in the news. Found a job at a local station in West Palm.
Yeah.
As a cameraman. And I was like, I don't really like it.
You don't like being behind. Well, you like being behind the camera, but like in that aspect,
it was more like it wasn't as creative as like I wanted,
or as free.
Yeah,
it's just being able to do whatever you want creatively, or shot wise as well.
Correct. Yeah, it's just like boom, like we want it right now, which is actually kind of where Throwbacks, the whole idea kind of birthed from having that kind of limitation of, hey, this is every day you clock in, you just need this shot, that shot. Don't change it. Just go what we tell you to do. Yeah. So we would we worked the night shift, so we'd get off around like 11:30, 12. We went to a local West Palm bar, O'Shea's. Yeah. It was 2 of my coworkers, Anthony and Ryan.
That sounds familiar.
O'Shea, yeah, it's like a little Irish bar. No, it's right off of Clematis.
The pub.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great spot,
yeah, exactly. Know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah. So I mean, we work, throughout the week. We go there on like, maybe a Wednesday, Thursday night, and we just we were all like nerds for like nostalgia and like the old movies. Yeah. We loved all the old stuff.
Yeah. No.
We get together. We watch like the Laserdisc movies as well. So we were just like always into it, and we were kind of joking around like, oh, it'd be cool if there's a bar that like catered to nostalgia. And then my buddy Ryan's like, yeah, it could be called Throwbacks. And so we're like, and never kind of came to anything. And that was like probably like 2015, 2016.
That is dope.
Yeah, and then fast forward to
10 years later, 2015. You think about it, it's 10 years since that whole link up, and now the whole brand, you're doing your thing. You got
4 years strong with Throwbacks.
Yeah.
So it's not a bar, but it still kind of caters to the whole nostalgia.
Yeah, it stems back to, that feeling of, nostalgia, vintage, and just culture too, because it all goes back to that, like the early 90s growing up and that free will spirit growing up.
Yeah. And I think, and that's something too, like I know you mentioned like digital cameras too. I think the more we're attached to like all this digital, this instant gratification, it's kind of like, oh man, I kind of miss like almost like a delay, like almost like the reward, which film does offer. Vinyl sounds differently than a digital through Spotify, which I listen to Spotify all the time. digital, like an analog record, it still sounds so magical. So it's kind of like, hey, like as we gear more towards like a digital world, I think we appreciate this stuff a little bit more.
100%.
Which I've noticed my largest clientele is like high school, college age kids that didn't even grow up with some of this stuff.
Yeah, just to add to that, because like you said, majority or a good percentage of your customers are people that are younger, of course, in their high school or in college. How do you feel about that? The new resurgence of like vintage cameras that's now like kind of across the world. Like everybody just wants an older camera. Everybody wants a disposable. They want to get that shot in that camera, get those textures. Like, what's your thought on that new like digital vintage camera resurgence?
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Yep.
And I do, and that's like the biggest thing about throwbacks. Like I said, like it's about educating, because I do believe as well. Like as much as it's awesome for this industry right now across the board, I think it's a fad.
Yeah.
How long does it last? I don't know. I hope it's around for a long time. I do believe this art form will be always around. As in,
100%.
Painting. Sculptures, like that's been around 1,000 years. It's still around. I think film will too, but I do believe it's a fad that has its course.
Yep.
But with the fad, I think it's important to educate people.
Yep.
So they can kind of, it helps with the longevity because
get the history of it, and now you have a more meaning to it. Because as a fad, it's like it's whatever that's popular, like whatever's trending. When you know the history, it's no longer a fad. It's more of you have a more deeper appreciation towards the camera itself.
Correct. Yeah, you're invested to this, and you're going to grow with it. Like if you invest a lot of time in something, like maybe eventually you give it up here and there. But it's really like, hey, like I like this, and I'm going to keep it growing.
Yep.
So, and that's what Throwbacks is here for that.
Yeah. No. Like. I just love it all. Like even myself, I'm not gonna lie and say I got a camera just to get it. The trend where it's at now, like with cameras and vintage cameras, it's beautiful. You see a lot of people just with celebrities as well. Like they all have like some type of vintage camera, and if even like their effect on the camera is making like people want to go get one. You know what I'm saying? A specific camera that. That they saw Frank Ocean with, for example, or Bad Bunny had a vintage camera. You know what I'm saying? Those people are just helping bringing these cameras back to like popularity, as well as just increasing that trend as well. And you can say they are helping with that fad.
Oh yeah. For sure, man. Like like you mentioned Bad Bunny, like he has this is a Canon A1. They have a Canon A1 model. Which is like an all-black model of this, and he's rocked that a couple times out in public, and that, like, anytime I get that, it flies off the shelf.
See, my question is, does he, like, is it a prop? Like, is it an accessory? Or does he actually, has he posted some pics with that camera? He does.
He's in all his music videos, they all shoot on film. If you go to his concert, he sells disposable cameras. Really? Like for his music video, I'm gonna butcher. Like I felt Spanish. I had to drop out. I literally wrote "I'll have to go," so I'm not gonna try to say it in Spanish. But the song where it's "I wish I took more pictures." He has that quoted on the front of the disposable camera, because at the film lab I work at, we're getting cameras from people that go to his show, and he's selling those disposable cameras. So. Like he's giving them like a souvenir, but he's not like, hey, look at this camera. He really is like really helping the whole industry, at large with that. I didn't even know so cool. Yeah, like his music videos, they're all shot on like 16mm film, 35mm film. Actually, I got my start before I got into the whole technical side of film. I started working on productions, and I worked on a Bad Bunny music video like early on before it really blew up in Miami, and he shot that on 16mm film. And he was really big on, even before he had the budget, he was doing that, which film isn't cheap. If you shoot film, it's not cheap. So
only imagine.
So yeah, you're very right. Like there are celebrities that like it's really like they are growing it, but some of them too are like really invested in the longevity too. Which is awesome. I love that.
No facts, because it's you're bringing more awareness to these cameras. Like it also brings, like, for example, like a VHS tape. Like a VHS recorder. I remember seeing that as a kid at my dad's house and playing with the camera and stuff. Just playing with it because it's a device, of course. 10 years later, we probably don't have it, but now I'm just like, wow, I took that for granted. It shows you what you took for granted and like the stuff that we had and the difference of like things that we have today.
Yeah, no, it really does. That's a huge point. Like,
yeah,
we're like, man, where are those videos at? And even
exactly,
we have all these digital films or videos and photos.
Yeah,
but like maybe 10 years from now, where's that? Like a cloud? Do we remember the password for that cloud? Like,
no, exactly.
It really does help you slow down and appreciate the moment. Whatever median you're using.
Yeah,
you're kind of like, oh man, like don't take this for granted. Whereas film, like it really like slows it down even more with this median because you only have so many shots.
Yeah,
you can't even just fire it.
You're limited, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I used the Canon snapping camera that you got me, that I purchased from you, had like the film. It was like only 32 to 36 shots.
Yep.
36. And I'm like, damn. Is this gonna be enough? Like for this whole trip that I'm doing?
Right.
Like it's like I'm literally like every time I take a snap, I'm like, okay, there goes 31. All right, we're at 28. Okay, I lost count. Do I have any more? Like it's crazy to think about like just taking those pictures and then being like kind of more intentional with the shots because you have a limited amount.
That's a great word for that, intentional with the shots. And like you were telling me before we went on, that you haven't got the roll developed. So this was probably like, how long ago did you shoot this?
This is probably like 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much more meaningful are those images going to be? Like you're waiting, like it's going to be like over a week till you see those again. So it's like,
so it's going to be, damn, I didn't know that.
People develop, same day, but maybe you don't drop it off same day. So you're like, oh man, I haven't seen these photos for a minute. Like,
how does this how do the shots I took look like? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the exciting. It's like Christmas, like being a kid on Christmas again, or like a birthday party. You're like, oh, the surprise.
Yeah,
it's really exciting with that too.
I will say though, I remember the first time I had a disposable camera. It was like 2009. I was on a Washington D.C. trip, and I remember having it and taking pictures. It never got developed. I lost the camera or something. So now, like in this conversation, I'm like, damn, how do those shots look like? And what was I taking pictures of? Of course, the people, the museum, and all that. But how does that look like? I don't know. We will never know. Like I will never know because I lost the camera, I lost the film, I lost everything. But it just shows you, again, like the appreciation of it.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many young people are, because they're like realizing like appreciating, like they're like really, when I talk to some of these young people buying them, like they do appreciate it, and not only appreciate the camera, but they appreciate like meaningful interactions.
Yeah,
as well.
the moments too that you take.
Yeah, and so you lost that camera, like it's not at your home anywhere.
That camera's gone. It's been like it's like 18 years now. It's gone.
Because I will say, so I developed film out of Dale Laboratories. A lot of great labs around the area too.
Sweet.
Like West Palm Beach, Ollie's, definitely check them out. They're a great lab.
Yep.
I'm down in Hollywood, so I go with Dale's, but there's still like Thacker's, Cardinal, Palm, Miami, Bellows, tons of film labs that I've opened up. But at Dale Laboratories, we get cameras like that where someone hasn't seen the pictures in 20 years and they find them. And those images can still be developed. Now, there's some variation with the color.
Yeah.
But those images are still, so it's cool sometimes. Like people are like, I found this camera in my closet. It's probably like over 20 years old. Or this film roll is like 40 years old. So it's cool too, seeing that people still develop film from so long ago.
Yeah.
And are realizing like memories that they almost forgot
nostalgia.
about.
That's where the nostalgia comes back in. It kicks in.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, so that's really cool too. Just like seeing how that means for people.
Yeah.
So it's really cool creating that aspect as well.
Yeah, no, it also, excuse me, it just shows you just appreciate, like I said, the moment, the shot, and just life itself. Because it's amazing, It
really is. Yeah. You're really like taking the moment in when you're shooting film. So you're like, oh man, like driving down here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was like, oh, this is like old school Florida down here. I was like, I love it right
it's
here.
A nice scene. Like, I can only imagine like where you're like, this would be a perfect shot. Like, how often does that hit you where you're like, you're probably just minding your business or driving. Like today, you're just driving here and you're like, this would be a nice shot. Like, do you just pull to the side and take a picture of the whatever or the, like the building or something like that? Or how does that hit you? Like
all the time. Like, sometimes I'll stop, but most of the time, just like I try to save, remember, or drop a pinpoint.
Like a pinpoint, come back to it. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Like I think about that a lot. So
Oh, that's dope.
definitely shots, and I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, what's a good shot?"
Mm-hmm.
But really, if you see something that's attractive to you, take the shot. I mean, you're attracted to it. Take the shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be. You think it's interesting. I think someone else will find it interesting. But
Exactly.
all
There might
that
be
matters
something, the color aspects,
Yeah.
the color scheme, the background, the texture, might just hit different to someone else.
Yeah, you shoot what's interesting. That's what photography is about. Like, it's subjective. I mean, yeah, there's great photography, but you have a camera. Whatever catches your eye, take that photo because obviously it caught your attention. So there's some meaning to it.
No, exactly. And while we're on the conversation of just like cameras and period, and like older cameras in today, so we have the iPhones. We have like these super advanced cameras nowadays. Like, what's your thoughts on like basically the older cameras compared to today's cameras? How are like, would you say the texture or like the quality of the cameras back then, the shots they took provides more color, more texture than like today's camera where we have our own iPhone that could take a nice pic or so? So what's your thoughts on today's camera and yesteryear's cameras as well?
Man, Jason, you're about to make me nerd out right here, man. I'm glad you asked that. No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Because I will say without a doubt, today's technology, like these sensors, whether it's a digital camera in our phone, are phenomenal sensors. I mean, they do a great job at picking up light. So basically how any camera works, whether it is film or digital, it's the same as how we perceive light, with light passing through our eyes. Our iris acts as kind of like your aperture for any camera. So like if we're in a darker setting, our iris is going to open up.
Pupils,
Yeah, exactly. Will be dilated, or if we're outside, it's going to be a little bit smaller. So we're letting more light in, less light in.
So you're saying like basically with like today's cameras and iPhones, they basically kind of emulate that?
Yeah, so any even older ones, they all emulate that. And then how we see the image, it's how the light is bent and how our eyes, our brains perceive that from the eyes or translate it. So with that being said, the sensors do the same exact thing, but in digital and pixelate it. But film is like film is a chemical.
Yeah.
So film is alive. So how film does it is the light is going straight to this chemical and being captured, whereas digital, it's going straight to a digital sensor. So film, in essence, is basically the closest thing how we perceive what we're actually, our reality. Like film is the closest to the reality as far as visually, where it's light passing through a living chemical reaction.
Oh, damn. Round soundbite, but damn. Where's the bomb? Wait, I don't have a bomb? Nope. Oh. Well, that one. We're going to do that one. We're going to do that one because that is actually amazing. That's like, I did not know that. I'm going to be real. But just hearing the sign, well, the facts about it, because I did not know like this was the closest thing to what we see on film, on paper, on physical. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it goes like, I can really break it. I have some film examples I can kind of show you too, because obviously different, there's larger formats of film that can capture more information. But like how we perceive colors, like that's like this is going through a living thing.
Wow.
Like, and now I will say this: a lot of people nowadays do digitize their film. They scan it.
Yep.
But at the same time, yes, you're digitizing film. But the film is being first caught through a chemical reaction. So it's not going pixelated first. It's chemically being caught, and then when you scan the negative, the film negative, the chemical has, and we can go over like the developing, but the reaction has imprinted the film image, which still has a different characteristic than a pixelated digital image.
So when it's being like uploaded, like becoming like basically becoming a digital, does it lose its quality, or does it still kind of remain the same as the physical we're seeing?
No, it doesn't lose quality necessarily. Of course, it depends on, like, if you have a very you have a really expensive camera with a large sensor in it, it's going to take a better picture. So when you're basically taking a picture of the negative of film, which, is each image, film is comprised of a bunch of different negatives. I don't know if the camera can completely pick this up, but you have different images in each of these slots.
Yeah.
So when you're scanning it, it's basically taking a picture of each frame. So if you have a larger sensor in your scanner, it's not going to compromise the actual negative, but you're still going to have those film characteristics where the original image was captured through light in a chemical reaction where colors are different. Like, for instance, did you see the movie Sinners?
Yeah.
So how'd you think that looked visually?
Amazing.
Right? That was shot. Do you know that was shot on film?
It was shot on I know it was like a 35.
No, so this is how a lot of film, like your camera, how a lot of film cameras shoot is 35, which is this size.
Yep.
So this is like the standard size for most film cameras. And then this is also the same for like a lot of movies that shoot film. They're doing 35. There's also 16, which is probably about like maybe a quarter or so of 35. Then you have Super 8, which is even a little bit smaller than 16. But Sinners was shot on 70 millimeter, which is kind of equivalent to 120. So there's 120 cameras. So this is a 35, and then this is 120. So the 120 is bigger.
Yeah.
That has so much more information.
Yeah.
And so Sinners was shot on, actually, for cinema film, 120 is called 60 millimeter, 70 millimeter. And then there's also IMAX 70, where the image is actually, it's not like kind of running top from bottom. It's like side to side. So there's even more information. So that IMAX 70 millimeter film, there's not a digital camera out there that can match the same quality as that. So, like 8K doesn't match 70 millimeter IMAX. Now, that's not available for all film cameras. You could do like larger format. But it just kind of shows, like, at the end of the day, film is kind of like at the top when it comes to like reality and images and sharpness.
There it goes, y'all. We're wrapping up the podcast because he just answered that's amazing. So really, guys, your film camera that you purchase is really better than your iPhone quality. I know you could play with the tints and the grades, the color scheme on your camera and the filters, of course, but this really, if you want the best real picture in the moment itself, you gotta get you one of these vintage Throwbacks camera.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Now again, iPhones take great photos.
Yeah,
and it is
no downplay, of course.
There's a lot of learning. There's a learning curve with film, but I would like film. It's all about light. I mean, no matter what you take your photos with, it's lighting, because light passes through the object. But you can take a great photo with anything, even a cheap disposable camera. Everyone's like, whoa, what camera? I really think it's any camera. It's your eye, and then how you like taking a proper understanding lighting. Because that's the biggest thing. Like, people even shoot that digital photography now. They're switching to film because they want to enhance their digital photography. So they're learning the craft more, where film really makes you focus on the craft more.
I really can't wait to see after the Canon snappy pics I got from this previous weekend. I really can't wait to see the final product.
You got to tie those in, man.
Yeah, I'm really can't wait to see now, because there's so much, like, I just learned so far, like the texture, the colors, like the impact these have.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, this is like a quick little, like, you could go on and on about it. But there really is, like, there is a difference between digital and film. That's for sure. And I'm sure you've seen me at events. A lot of the events I go to, I rock the Nishika N8000. So this camera actually takes 4 photos at once. So it takes 2 normal film frames and divides those in half. And so it basically like puts them back and forth together.
Is it in the box still, or is it like you can't?
Take it out. Yeah, I can take it out. So this was designed in the 1980s. And back then when they designed it, you had to send your film to this company, and they would print it on 3D paper. And then, so kind of like, you remember, like, if you held a photo and it kind of like, move it, kind of jump out.
They would take it off that? Like, they would take the pictures from that camera?
Similar to that. So this one, basically, you'd have your 4 lenses, 2 frames. So if I took a picture of you, I'd have 4 different, like, images. And they'd print it, so reflect back and forth like different layers. But it was a little ahead of its time because you could only sell it to that company.
No, it definitely is.
More expensive.
Monopoly.
Yeah. But it was a monopoly that didn't last.
Yeah.
Whereas now, this camera is very popular because with Photoshop, with apps, we can create GIFs. So it's perfect for GIFs because you play it
So
back.
that's how you make like the GIFs that you make from the pictures from that camera.
It's this camera right here.
Wow.
So something that like was a failure in the 80s now is like, wow, this is
Genius.
a novelty now. Like a lot of people are using it for music videos now. And this technology was around in the 1950s as well for cameras like this, a realist that would take 2 photos, and those 2 photos would create like a 3D effect, but they'd have to wear like, not like the fancy Apple goggles you see nowadays.
Yeah.
Like they wore these like wooden goggles that you
like the 4Ds.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'd put the little, like they put slides in there and they'd stick way out and it'd create, a 3D image. But that's a technology that's been around since the 50s. And I mean, that 3D technology, it's been around so long, but now it's like, now we get the digital version of that as well. But this is cool. The 1980s camera is cool because, it kind of adapted from that.
It does give like those 1980 like vibes. It gives me
definitely.
It reminds me of Knight Rider.
Yeah, it is. It's very blocky, like the red and black.
The red, the red is the black. Just it's a matte. It's like matte black, I think, but it's very out. And the red, the hints of red, just
even like the whole like design of it, like you got like the little
the box,
like the rainbow end, and it's definitely very 80s ish, which is it's cool too because it's like it's like nostalgia, like like you get that feeling of like, oh, this is,
and you're getting the feel of the different styles from the 80s, and you comparing it to today, you're like, wow, like not a lot of packaging is like that. Right?
It's not. Yeah, the packaging was really like they were creating, and you talked about commercials too, like the
Canon Snap,
like the camera commercials in Japan were insane. They were so ahead of their time too. They were really great stuff.
Yeah.
So
people were definitely more creative with just promoting a product. As little as a camera.
Yeah, it wasn't minimalism. It was more creative. It was more like culture based. It was like, this is, you really had to sell it.
Oh yeah, no, you had to sell it because you got to get these people attention. It's not just any camera. You got to get this camera.
And look how many cameras I have. This is a small amount. I mean, there's so many more.
Yeah.
So you're basically like competing against everybody else. Whereas nowadays you're either gonna have an iPhone or maybe like a Samsung Galaxy. Like there's 2.
Yeah.
Like you're not competing against a lot. Whereas cameras back then, they really had to compete. Like there wasn't a monopoly. Like you had your big brands, but you're still like, hey, you want to buy this one right here. This is why you're gonna buy it. So
literally.
Unleash like creativity, which is really cool as well. Like I get inspiration from watching like a lot of the older like videos for like advertising and kind of like spark some like inspiration too with like, oh, how should I like kind of market this one or whatnot, like
stealing from commercials or something, stealing like, we're not stealing for the nostalgia vibe, but like taking inspiration from like commercials from the back then, etc. So
I mean, it's art. Like art is, you're not stealing.
Yeah.
To like you get
inspiration.
Inspired. Yeah, inspiration. Yeah. What do they say?
Art imitates life, or art repeats
something about like flattery, or the biggest flattery is
copy.
Yeah. Something like that.
I think Virgil said that too. I don't know. Somebody said it.
Yeah, someone said it. Yeah, somebody said it. That heard it from somebody else.
Exactly. And on the topic of just styles and different variations of what we have here, like I said, how you pronounce that again?
Nishika.
The Nishika brings back the 1980 vibes, 80 vibes right there. We got a child style camera. And then this bad boy right here looks like it's in a leather brown box.
Oh, you're talking about this one right here?
Oh, the one on the brown one.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
like
is
a freaking luggage. It is basically.
Right. Yeah, it was. So that's another thing too. Is these were like accessory items back in the day because these were geared towards families. So like you wanted to walk around like looking stylish. Like, so this was like you're like kind of like a purse back then. Like you're not gonna want no clunky metal thing. You want some leather on that. You want that looking good. So this is a Cine Kodak model. This is the BB.
Yeah.
And this is a 16 millimeter camera where you basically just crank it with this little thing right here.
Yeah.
And then this is gonna be my power button. So that just turns a gear in a motor, and that will feed your film through the film gate. And so that's like, you know, our grandparents were using.
Is crazy.
Yes, our grandparents were using something like this to capture their home movies, and it still works today.
Like they were getting video from that?
Yeah. So you would shoot it on that.
Was it like still in color or?
So it depends. Probably a lot of people had black and white home movies at first because black color didn't come around until a little bit later on. I don't know the exact date, but
if you were to add like color film to it, would it come out in color today?
Oh yeah. They make color film. So 16 millimeters. So something like kind of like reels like this. This is an older one I just got. So this is kind of like all frayed a little bit. This is actually Mickey Mouse Cine Art. This is from the 1930s, and you could still, I mean, sprockets are still kind of like messed up a little bit, but it's
fighting for its life.
Yeah, it's similar to this. This wasn't taken care of too well, but the film used for this was similar. So they basically spool it up and you'd run it through. So it's pretty cool. Like when you have all these different facets of film.
Now, when I get home, I'm gonna Google this camera type and I'm gonna Google films or whatever filmed in that camera because.
And like Steven Spielberg, like when he was a kid, like this is a camera similar to what he first started on. Like when people were like, nowadays you can start on iPhone, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
For learning creativity and shooting videos, I think it's a lot more. Everybody has.
It's more convenient, accessible.
Exactly. Yeah, convenient and accessible. Whereas back then it was a little bit less accessible and more expensive.
Exactly.
But this is like back then people would start on a camera like this and then they'd start making movies.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's roughly what era would you say? 1930s, 20s?
So this is from like the 1960s.
Okay.
Like later 1960s. This was around like 19. So this goes back like film itself.
Yeah, like that looks like some Great Gatsby there. That's crazy.
This is like 1920s,
looks like a speaker too.
Early 1900s. This is basically like a Kodak Brownie where you wouldn't even load your film. Kodak would load the film for you. You'd send your film to Kodak. They'd have like 60 photos or something like that. They'd reel up. You'd take it. You'd be like, all right, smile, hold for 30 minutes, and where's the shutter? I don't even know where the shutter is. Oh, here we go. So they'd be like, all right, hold it. Oh, takes a photo.
That's basically you taking the pic. That's you snapping right there.
But back then, you see all those old pictures. No one's ever smiling because they had to wait so long to take the photo. So
makes sense.
I just broke right now. This is.
Oh, well, that's just a strap.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this was like the 1920s, but photography itself started like the mid like 1830s or something like that, and then Kodak came around like I think it was like late 1800 or 1888 or so. Mm-hmm. Kodak kind of made it a little bit more accessible for people.
Yep.
Like invented the whole.
And then Canon came emulsion.
I think they came in like the 50s, maybe 40s. I think Canon, Nikon, they started as smaller companies and kind of grew. But Kodak was kind of like, hey, we're going to make this emulsion film that makes it accessible for everybody. Where back in the day, they had like, it was like, a glass plate with like a coating of film that put on it. Because how the film is captured, there's silver behind the film. Like the old saying for movies is silver screen.
Yeah.
Like they say, oh, like the silver screens. Mm-hmm. Well, that's because film was made, like the light is captured with silver in film. So the more grain you have in the film, the more silver's in the film. So the silver captures the light and imprints it on the film. And so
that's how we would like watch when we're watching, basically.
Yeah, so like when they develop the film, the silver's taken out, but silver's what captures the light. So Kodak basically found a way to be like, hey, we're gonna put like this emulsion with silver and put it on like this film strip that will roll up for you, and you can take the photos rather than having to paste it on a glass and take a photo. And they really made it more accessible. They were kind of like the iPhone back then, as far in photography ways.
That's dope. With the history of like the silver screen and how that just ties into a camera, and now we have places called Silver Spot.
Yeah,
probably coming like rooting basically from the silver screen.
Yeah, it's like
phrase,
nostalgia. It's cool how like that stuff kind of carries a, not maybe the same aspect, but it's cool how it lives on, like a little homage to all that. So I love it. That's what I'm trying to do too. So
no, you're bringing more awareness to people that's not familiar with these type of cameras or this side of like photography itself and videography. So, nah, bro, you're bringing attention to these well-deserved cameras right here, bringing back history.
Yeah,
bringing back history. And so, like, I know you spoke on, the film aspect of it, the types that there is. Can you just speak on the filming, like not the filming, but the process of developing a film? Like, what does that look like for someone that that just took a picture from their disposable or a Canon, and now they want to go to a film store or a film lab to turn in their camera, but they don't know that whole process? What does that look like?
Yeah, definitely. So, your film eventually, like when you first get your film, it comes out, your little film roll, and you pull it out, and you have your negative or, your film. So your film, it's going to be like brown. It's going to be different layers. One side might be a little bit lighter than the other, depending on the type of film.
Yep.
But you can't see any images when you first get your film. So you get that film.
Because nothing was taken.
Correct, yeah. So film is, you have your silver halide, which is the silver we talked about, that captures the light. So you have your emulsion of film, and built into this emulsion is your silver halide. So the higher the number of film, like you'll see film with 400, 200, 100, 800, the higher number has more silver halide, because that does better. The higher the number, the better it does for low light, because you need more silver to catch that light.
Yep.
So the lower light or the lower numbers do better for brighter settings because there's so much light.
Is that like the reason for like people like the developing in dark rooms or stuff like that?
Yeah, because you had the light, and so the silver halide captures that light. Okay, so it captures that light, and you can't see it. Now for color film, also built into that emulsion is like a gel, kind of like Jell-O, where you have your colors cyan, magenta, and yellow. So cyan is kind of like a bluish, magenta's purple, and then yellow. And you put those three colors together, you can form any color. So your light passes through, it's captured in the gelatin, and then the silver captures it. So it's all tucked away in your film. Now, if you open up your film before developing, it's gone, because it's light passing through. The light is saved on that strip. But if you re-expose that, it's going to be, the light will go back on it. Once it has the light, it's very sensitive to light.
Yeah.
So no matter how many times, sometimes people do double exposure, so they'll purposely expose it to, like, I could take a picture of you and then take a picture of me, and we'll kind of like be over each other, kind of like look like a ghostly effect. But if you just like open it all up and light flashes on it, then it completely like it's all gone. So you do have to use a dark room, because it needs a special process with the chemicals. Like we said, film is a chemical process. It's a chemical miracle where it takes more chemicals to reveal the image.
This is science, yo.
It really is.
This is science.
And I wasn't good at science, so I was thrown into the fire.
Chemistry in this.
Yeah, I sucked at chemistry, so when I got in the film, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But when you get the film, back in the day, you'd use a dark room, whereas nowadays a lot of film labs use a processor, like a machine. So basically, the machine has several tanks, and you put the film on like this little plastic card with little grooves in the middle of it, and it kind of like is fed through these racks like Legos that go like up and down in each tank, and they're set to the specific time and temperature, because it is chemistry and it has to be set to the right time and temp to react. So basically, when your film goes through, like color film will go through a developer first, and that developer brings out, ignites with the gelatin to expose that image into a negative.
With emphasis on them.
Yeah, exactly. And so then the developer develops your image, and then it has to go through bleach. And so when it goes through the bleach takes out that silver, because you don't want silver in your film. It's going to like get all over you.
Yeah.
So it's going to take out that silver, and then it goes through a fixer. So the fixer takes off any unexposed silver, it really imprints the image onto your negative, so it's not going to wash off.
Yep.
And then after your fixer, it goes through a couple of wash baths, which is basically like soap.
Yep.
So it just kind of cleans it, make sure there's no smudging, and then from there, when you wash it all, that's when you actually get your actual images. And this is a black and white film roll, actually. I think. I know it's actually E6 color positive. So there's different types of film. There's color. There's black and white, and there's positive film, which when you develop it, it actually has a positive image. So if you look through there, you can actually see the colors in it.
Oh, really? Sorry for the brief intermission, everybody. Oh, this is dope. Yeah.
So then, and the normal one, that like the one you're shooting with in your camera, is negative. So you can't see the colors in there. The colors, through the process are there, but you have to scan it through light or print it through light, which will bring out the colors. But the colors are there from the developing. So yeah, it goes through that whole process, and then from there your negative comes out, and then it's scanned.
And from there, you got your final product. You got the shot that you've been waiting 48 to a week.
Yeah, 48 hours a week. I mean, you've been waiting for this.
Yeah, and embrace it.
Yeah,
That's dope.
no, really, yeah. And people are like, "Oh, I want my film now." And that's the cool thing is like,
the urgency or like the anxiousness of just wanting to see it now.
Yeah,
because we're so used to that.
Yeah, and we do provide, a lot of labs do provide it, but it is kind of ironic because film is definitely like a process, but still people that shoot it are like, I want it now.
Yeah.
Like, I need it like right now. I need it yesterday. And it's like, well, it's defeating the process, but it's still like, we definitely provide, but it is kind of, there's still like a little mixed in with like.
With the rushing though, would that kind of like harm the quality of the pic?
No. Because, well, that's the thing. Like, you're rushing it because, at a film lab, you're getting so many rolls a day. Yeah. So, like, it is a process to develop them all, and then you scan it. Like, like at Dale's, it's like one business day. And some labs do, like, the same day. Some labs maybe a little bit longer. And some charge extra for longer. Yep. You're not rushing the process, per se, like where it goes through the film, because it needs a specific time and temperature.
Yeah.
But you're just kind of like prioritizing that film roll compared to like, the regular standard time, like depending on how many you have. Like you're like, oh, well, they paid for a rush, so I'll put it at the front to
just
scan
expediting
it.
them.
Yeah, exactly. You're expediting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. I don't know how you remember that. I don't know. Like I can only imagine like the whole, like doing it for the first time. You're like, oh, I missed a step. Now it's shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing is like you do it through a machine, so there is a lot like you can still mess up. Like you can still definitely because you got to mix the chemistry. You got to make sure everything's programmed right.
Exactly.
But the good thing is like machines can really help. Like machines are still good because they do help make sure that it's consistent. You still got to test.
Yep.
But I mean, when I first started, there's definitely stuff I'm like, wait, what? And you can like develop film by yourself with like your own little like there's people I go to some high schools and the kids are telling me they develop their own film. So basically,
that was another thing I was gonna ask.
You'd put your reel of film, like this is an older one, but they make new plastic ones. So you'd roll your film on here, you'd put it in a tank. Now this, of course, you'd have to do in a dark room, because you don't want to expose your film. So you would have to like go in like a bathroom closet, shut the door, make sure lights off, and then you'd pour your chemicals in. Then you have to pour them out, but you have to like agitate it. So you have to like move it around. You have to make sure you have like your timer set.
Literally in the lab, like you're making a concoction.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like there's high schoolers doing that, which is really cool for film because that's not an easy. Like it sounds more daunting than it is. Like once you like understand it, it's pretty simple, but kids are like, hey, I don't care how daunting it sounds. Like they're
going for it.
Yeah. It's just like how probably a 7-year-old will beat me at Fortnite.
Exactly right.
They want to go for the challenge. Like they'll be like, hey, I want to. That sounds cool. That sounds challenging.
You're fearless too. When you're young, you're like, F it, why not?
Right. Yeah. So it's cool seeing them not just be like, oh, I'm gonna go the easy route. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah. That just shows you like people being invested into the camera.
Correct.
And how like to some people it's not just a fad. It's like a love.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, interest.
Yeah, and I'm selling like a lot of like these older cameras here. Like you have to like something like these. Like you could still use them.
Yep.
But the film's not as accessible. Or you have to like with 3D
very
printing.
Niche.
Now, yeah, it is very niche. But with 3D printing and other companies like Kodak's still like the big dogs when it comes to making film.
Yep.
But there's smaller companies that make more like nichier films that work for some of these older cameras that maybe Kodak doesn't make, or you could 3D print an adapter. And I've like sold some cameras to some college kids that are engineers, and they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I just sell this as like a display piece for like $20, like a mantle. It still works, but it's not as practical. And they're like, I'm gonna make it work. And then I see them like a couple months later, like, yeah, actually, here's my photos. I'm like, that's so cool. How'd you do it? And they're like, well, I designed a piece, made it.
Damn.
And so it's really like, I'm like blown away.
They're
too,
going
seeing
all
some
out.
of these
Now the piece
people,
is done as well.
right? Yeah, I'm like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
it's inspiring people, which is really cool. It's really, it's helping creativity, I think.
Just bringing back, authenticity, creativity, being original, and just doing things as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And like we said, like the key thing is like the nostalgia, where it slows you down and it brings you back. So there's like emotion that's put into it, where it's just not like I'm just gonna take, oh man, I'm eating good.
Being invested.
Yeah. You're not taking 15 photos of what you're eating. You're like, hey.
Oh yeah, the phone. What they say, the phone eats first.
Yeah.
He's taking the actual one.
Film don't eat first, because if it does, it eats your wallet too. So
oh, that's a bar. That is a bar right there. Eats your
yeah.
Yeah.
I throw that in the song right there.
No, literally. And with you seeing, I know you've seen a variety and so much cameras, like, period. What's like the craziest camera you ever seen? I remember on your page you had like a Pepsi and Coca-Cola camera, which is kind of crazy. And I actually thought it was dope. But like, what's like the craziest camera you've seen?
Yeah, I just saw the Pepsi one actually at the Vintage Supermarket. Shout out to the Vintage Supermarket.
Yep.
They got one going on Sunday.
Yeah, shout
out. The 21st. I don't know, whatever this Sunday is.
Right.
It's like the third Sunday of every month. Yeah, I sold the Pepsi camera there. Man, yeah, that's a cool thing too. Is like so many companies, like for promotions, they were making like film cameras, like Pepsi, Coke, Heineken.
That's really dope though. That's really dope.
It's creative.
Yeah, it's super creative. It's like a can. Imagine a can as a camera.
Yeah,
we're selling it.
Yeah,
we're selling it.
I've seen a tennis ball. I've seen a soccer ball. So it's a ball and it pops out. So I've seen some really funky stuff, and like this kid's camera. That's pretty funky.
Like even just comparing those to the kids' camera to the leather, the box. Luggage camera, like what?
Like, there's so many different like styles. Like
each one has their own personality.
Another funny one was like so this is the a Voltlander.
That one looks dope. That's a bad boy right there.
It's the Voltlander Vitessa T. I might have butchered that. But this has the big like this is to fire shutter, and they call it the plunger. So I always think it's kind of funny. It does kind of look like a plunger, but it's just. It's very like interesting, like
a plumber's camera.
Yeah, like these are kind of like a little bit more appealing. Where this has this giant.
That Pentax too. I know that one goes. That one goes crazy. Like for selling wise, I see a lot of people. I see it on TikTok a lot. Everybody's dropping like their camera ID, and the Pentax is one of the ones I typically see name float around.
Yeah, and that's everybody's obsessed with like an Olympus camera, amazing cameras.
You gotta show the camera. These bad boys.
So the Pentax, I think, is one of the most underrated cameras. Everybody loves a Contax or an Olympus stylus for their point and shoot. Whereas like this, I sell like anytime I get one of the Pentax IQ Zoom,
They go out quick
because I tell everybody like this is probably the most underrated camera. It's more affordable. But like for instance, this has a crazy zoom too.
Shoot!
It has tons of different modes built into it.
I
It
may
still
have to buy
takes
it after
awesome
this,
photos, right?
This episode,
dude. This is I tell everybody
dope.
like I kind of can compare cameras to cars sometimes. I have a Toyota, so I'm like, hey, Toyotas last forever. Like, you have a Toyota too, right?
Yeah,
a Honda.
Yeah,
Honda,
they last forever.
Last forever. So this, I always say this is like a Honda or Toyota, man. Like this thing, it's a bang.
That zoom in was actually
great
crazy,
camera. And the Pentax are very popular. I think it's one of the most underrated like beginner cameras, like a point and shoot camera, which is basically like point and shoot. But yeah, the Pentax IQ zooms, man, I can't hold on to those fast enough because I tell people like, hey, this if I have it, and someone's like, oh, what's a good camera? I'm like, this is it. Like Olympus stylus, yeah, you could pay extra for a Contax. You could pay $1,000, but Olympus stylus, might not even pay over $100, and you're gonna get like an amazing camera. So. I think that's one of the better cameras. Like I have one, my wife has one, a bunch of my friends have one. We gotta get you a Pentax.
Oh, I have to get a Pentax, you guys. I have to. Next pick, Shout out to the Pentax, right?
Yeah, exactly. Shout out
Yo,
Pentax.
this is dope.
Yeah, so that's a good eye, man. Yeah, that's really cool that you noticed that with the cameras, and that speaks to like the camera, like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so from this batch as well, you know, we're gonna have some fun. Pick your favorite from this batch, like personality wise, like which camera is just that you really like out of this whole batch. And we got some bad boys we haven't even spotlight yet. We have this Mama, I don't want to say Mama Mia, but
Mama Mia. Yeah, man, Mama Mia. This is Mama Mia. I like that. This is so this takes 120 film.
Okay.
Like the film we talked about that was larger that they shot like Sinners on.
Yep.
It was comparable to that, so it's like a better image.
Yep.
And it's cool too. It has like the little viewfinder, so you can kind of like look through right here, and you can actually see. Here, I'll pass that to you. If you want to see. So you can kind of. Oh, you got to look down.
On this?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, you can kind of. It kind of like.
Actually crazy.
It's kind of like warped a little bit. It's like backwards, but
It's actually dope.
I love this camera, man.
You have to look through these lenses, like literally bend your neck over.
And they make adapters so you could look through it. I love this one, man. This is, and I think a lot of photographers.
It's heavy though. You could literally cluck somebody's head with it.
Yeah, you're not really taking that to a lot of trips. I mean.
That auto zoom too. That Canon right there.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
So this is a Super 8. So this is what we do videos on, and I love this camera. Actually,
the aesthetic it already gives is pretty dope. It's nice.
This is like the home movie camera, or this was a little bit more on the professional side of home movie cameras, like in the 80s. But actually, the Neighborhood Thread, their last event.
Yeah.
Not the wine night, but the last event they had at the beach.
Yep.
They shot a little promo with the beach volleyball. They used this one. And so this is really cool. I've used this on a couple projects too. And this is, I love this, like taking this on trips.
Yeah.
Just like kind of shooting it. So this is like this, but it's 8mm, so it's not a 16mm. So you throw your little cartridge in the back.
Yep.
And then you hear it running.
Shout out. That's dope.
Old school. So like cycles of film.
And now it's like you're like, you know, instead of just holding it towards your eye, you could just literally move around with it. Zoom around.
I could put it on lock too. So boom. So I'm like, I don't even have it unlocked. You could attach it to something, keep it filming. Of course, your film's going to run out, but I mean, this bad boy. These two, the Mamiya, the Canon Auto Zoom 814 for Super 8. Yep. These are two cameras I really do like, and I do try to, like, anytime I travel or like a lot of meaningful stuff, I try to shoot on those just because I think this takes video. So it's cool capturing some video. Super 8, which I've seen is getting so much more popular. I can't hold on to one of those because someone wants a camera. Cause
the demand for it.
Yeah, and all the cameras I sell, you know, they come with the warranty. I make sure they're all good and working, test out every feature, fix anything that's broken. So I can say, like, sell it to you and be like, hey, I know this is going to work.
Yeah. Now, shout out to you because that just shows your, you know, like, not your loyalty, but your... Shoot, I'm having a brain fart.
I mean, your
loyalty
to film and to what I'm doing, like loyalty to the customer as well.
Exactly.
Saying like, hey, like I know this is gonna work. If you have any issues, message me.
Your honesty as well. Yeah, I think that was the word. Both though.
Yeah, and I mean, in 3 years, I mean, maybe like I've had like maybe 3 or 4 cameras that have had an issue. But most of the time, sometimes it's user error or just like something slight, like you can fix real quick. But yeah, this, I mean. Yeah, I kind of like messed around with them, but this one is just like, I really love the Super 8 because it's just, and like I got like 4 more I got to work on because I have people like, hey, I want that too. I want that too. Like everybody's shooting weddings on it. They're going on, you know, trips and they're shooting on it. Like
it's crazy. Like today today's world, people want that nostalgia feel, that nostalgia aesthetic, the feel, vibes, all around. They just want nostalgia back.
I mean, so much so there's filters for it. You shoot digital. In the new Fuji digital cameras, they have a preset to look
Polaroids.
Like film. Yeah, Polaroids too. There's digital ones. I forgot to bring Polaroids today, but they brought back the old Polaroid film too. Yeah. And people are shooting those. I mean, I had a bunch in our apartment, and my wife's like, all right, those got to go. We had like a full wall. Oh. And she's like, yeah, we got to make it look a little bit more aesthetic. Yeah. So we still kept them all, but you know, it's cool. Like people come over, we take a Polaroid picture with them. And,
yeah, it's memory and it's a keepsake.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. So
I mean, where can like if anybody wanted to purchase a camera from you or like a vinyl, any of your vintage items or products that you have, where can they find you?
Yeah. We didn't really touch on vinyl too much, but
Yeah.
it's something I have, vinyl, VHS. So throwbackswpb.com. So basically throwbacks WPB.com. So that's the website where I have everything. I haven't started VHS yet. That will be coming soon.
Sweet.
So that has like all the vinyl, the film cameras, all categorized, and it's always like rotating because again, everything gets worked on, even the vinyl. Listen to basically everything.
Yeah.
They're all cleaned. Make sure that there's no like imperfections. They're not gonna
basically revitalizing them, bring them back to life.
Yeah. So they can find it there. I go to tons of markets between Stewart, Port St. Lucie, Orlando. I've gone to Atlanta, down to Miami. So you can catch me in the market, but throwbackswpb.com. And then also I sell out of Dale Laboratories, a film lab in Hollywood, Florida. But also, and that's the other thing too, is I think for like anything like this, I think it's very important because some people be like, oh, well, there's competition. I think if it's
a great community.
Such a niche, you need the community. So there's tons of other film labs and even record stores too. So, I mean, I would love for you to shop with me, but other film labs sell film cameras too.
Yeah.
There's other record stores. So I think it's important to support them all because you support more, there's more of a need. People invested to it, they're going to stick around.
Exactly.
So I think you should support them all. Like find your local film lab. Like we talked about Ollie's in West Palm Beach. There's 60 Minutes up north. They're in Jupiter as well. There's Cardinal Film Lab, Miami, Bellows, Palm Film Lab, Thacker's, Fort Lauderdale. There's Rust and Wax Record Store in West Palm. There's one that opened up in Delray's. I forgot the Delray Beach. I forgot the name.
Oh, I think Jeff.
Jay's. There's a Jay.
Yeah, I've been there. He's great too.
So it's really cool. I mean, throwbackswpb.com, but also, find other local like film labs or record stores as well. So I think it's good to support the whole community because, hey, the more demand for that is, the good for all of us. Cause
everybody can eat, Everybody eats.
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody eats.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool too with this because, not only do I sell it, but anytime I go to an event, I bring my cameras, I take photos, kind of, create like a little recap thing too. So it's cool, like people being like, yo, can I give you my, can you give me my picture too? And sometimes I'm like, oh, who are you again? Like, you gotta cycle through the images and be like, sometimes
trying to match the face to the name or whatever.
I'm like, so I started kind of just uploading like Dropbox and you can download it. Yeah, so it's cool. I love it, man. I love just, not only selling it, but bringing the camera out and capturing, like, other people enjoying it. Like, these are 1970 Fisher-Price toys. You crank it. It's like the OG YouTube. It shows a little cartoon. I don't know if you've seen that at the market.
I feel like I've seen this before. Oh, shoot. I feel like I used this before, though.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe. It's from the 1970s, but they made, like, different cartridges. Like, that's, like, the OG YouTube. I'll make some sound effects for you too if you want.
This is crazy. Not the sound effects.
Yeah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, this is Snoopy and the Red Baron. You look through it. I don't know which camera, but you look through it and crank it, and it projects it all. It's like film projects it to the light.
Seeing these things make you have a deeper appreciation for this vintage nostalgia and just items from literally throwbacks.
Yeah,
it gives you wow, it's amazing what was being created. Comparing it to today, and also comparing how today's creation is not as up to par as things back then.
Well, they are in a sense. Like phones.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But guess what?
Some items.
How often are you getting a new phone? Like you're getting your phone pretty often. Like phones, cameras. You're always getting a new camera.
We're always getting something.
Whereas these, some of these cameras, 1970s, 1980s. It's still the same.
Yeah.
Film, they make different film. It has different looks to it. Different film has different colors. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But, film does have a different look to it. But basically, your camera is going to produce the same image because the film's the same. So you're not having to get a new, you could get different. Cameras do tend to do different, point and shoot camera. Might not be good as an SLR or medium format. But basically, you're not having to get a new one every 2 years, or it's not out of date. So that's the cool thing is they don't really go out of date. You still got to. They're old.
Still got to do the maintenance on it.
Take care of them. Don't leave it in the sand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Don't leave it in the rain. I've seen people leave it on their roof. Oh man, I'm so sorry, man. I left my camera on the roof. I'm sorry for you, man. Like,
Oh, yes, it's done.
Yeah, ripped for your car and you drove. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord. And so we didn't touch too much on vinyls, but what's your favorite vinyl or like record before we wrap this up?
Oh, man. So my favorite one is I can't remember the name on it. Maybe you know it's Tracy Chapman, the record with Fast Car. I don't.
Tracy
I
Chapman,
feel bad.
Fast Car.
I got a fast car.
How old is it?
It's from maybe the 1980s, I think.
It's
Yeah, listen, it's a good one for the ride home tonight. Great song. But yeah, I found that that was one of my favorite songs. It's just one. She has another song on it. I'm sorry, Tracy, but I don't remember the other song. I just love Fast Car, and so I saw that one, and I'm like, I'm keeping.
Who
this
can
one
you
for myself.
compare her to artist wise? Today's artists. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say a Rihanna, Solange,
different.
Minnie Riperton.
That was for her that was her biggest song. So I don't know too much about her.
Yeah.
She played it in Wimbledon.
That's major though.
It basically the whole crowd was singing to it.
It is her best song.
I will say I don't listen to too many new artists like that
that's
kind of
true
compare.
too.
So I don't want to disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
I just love that song growing up, and I found that record, and to find records original records are in perfect condition. I found this the record's probably around $100, the pressing of it, because different pressings have different values. So I'm like, I gotta keep this.
Man, there's so much to cover within that aspect that I'm actually intrigued on, but we can't cover it, y'all.
But it's great. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and I found a Biggie record. So I mean that was kind of cool because it was one of his original records, and it has a bunch of his original songs on that. So it's Brooklyn, So I love that one too.
Oh, that's amazing.
Jackson Brown running on Empty. That's a great song. I love that record. That's the thing about records.
You're putting me onto a lot right now because when I'm about to play this whole 3 songs that you just dropped down, man.
But that's the thing about records is you might only really like 1 or 2 songs on it.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. I mean, I still listen to the other ones.
I will say though, there are a lot of older vinyls where the album covers are insane.
Yeah.
There's this one I bought at the vinyl store in Delray, and the vinyl covers is insane. The artwork is crazy, and I bought it because of the artwork. And I gave it a listen. I was like, oh, this kind of matches the vibe of,
Dude, that's a great point because I tell some people are like, oh, what should I get? I'm like, I would shift through stuff, especially jazz, because I think jazz, everybody loves jazz. Jazz influence a lot of artists too.
Can't talk about jazz.
Great music, and I'm like, especially a jazz record, if you really like the cover, you're probably gonna really like the music too. So I tell it
it's a great point.
Music's so subjective. I'm like, if it's a good cover, you're probably gonna like a couple songs on there. Because the covers.
The covers, yeah.
I've had some kids that don't even have a record player. They buy it just because it has a cool cover to put on their
on their wall or something.
Yeah. Bought a $40 record, and he's like, I just love the look of it. So I don't have a record player, but I'm gonna put it on my wall. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But listen to it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right?
I hope you listen to it. Yeah, so 100%. And that being said, Paul, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being featured on the Serious Podcast, man. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for bringing all of these cameras of yesteryear and today.
Yeah, thank you.
This is a nice collection. I know you got plenty of more. And, of course, if you guys, to start your vintage career, your vintage camera, your photography, whatever, man, just come to Throwbacks, West Palm Beach, man. You guys can find them on Instagram. Site.
Yeah, Instagram is Throwbacks WPB.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you. More so Instagram. I need to get back on TikTok. Gotta get on Twitter. But Instagram's the big one, yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, the website, yeah.
Yeah, so, thank you again for joining us on the podcast, man. And stay tuned for his next pop-up at the next market or his upcoming at Dale's or anything that he has in store for everyone. So, that being said, you guys, thank you and peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you, brother. No problem.